Our fourth bit of the project is just charming because it's about a group of weavers and spinners and dyers who we have formed a bond with and have taken over our heritage barn completely. And the project they're going to work with us is looking at what people would have worn during the Iron Age.
This is Shetland wool. Shetland is being a primitive British breed. It's about the closest you can get in the 21st century to the actual breeds that were used in Northern Europe in the Iron Age. To make our tools, we've used wood. See, there's a wood spindle. We've used bone to make bone needles. We've used clay to make spindle whorls and weights for the looms.
Hello, I'm Kerry and I'm a member of the Spinners, Weavers and Dyers Guild of Northampton. We are sat in the Dyers garden at Stanwick Lake. We come here regularly as part of the Iron Age project, and today we have been naturally dyeing with plant matter, mostly from our garden.
So we're growing plants in this area, mainly used for dyeing wool, and we're standing here by a bed full of weld plants, which one of the weavers has already today has harvested quite a lot, and she's going to be making up a particularly noxious brew that will dye different wool and yarn a yellow colour.
So two different ways to dye really simply is solar dyeing in a jar with your fibre and your plant material. In this case we've got logwood, which is chips of a hardwood, specifically that gives this purple colour, and they're put in a jar with water and they're left in a sunny window or a sunny position in the garden to heat up nicely, and you just leave them for a month, 2 months, however long you like, depends how patient you are, and that gives you a beautiful colour. This one is just boiled up onion skins, very simple, an hour's boil, and it gives you this beautiful orange colour. These three are the Holy Trinity. These are our primary colours. We have blue, which comes from indigo or woad, red, which comes from the madder root, and yellow, which comes from weld, which is the plant here behind me just coming into flower. And from these we can make pretty much any other colour from the rainbow. One of the really lovely things of volunteering here at Stanwick is that we are able to engage with the gardeners who have already built their medieval garden, and now they're helping us to grow Iron Age plants for our Iron Age project. We're also able to pilfer things from the Bronze Age project, which is happening just next door to the Heritage Barn, and we have stolen some wood bark which we are hoping to process again to work towards our Iron Age project. So it's lovely to have this collaboration with other volunteers and members of the Stanwick Lake project.
So the culmination of the textile side of this project at Stanwick Lakes is what I'm wearing today. It's a reconstruction, our interpretation of the Huldremose Woman's clothing, and you can see just from the colours and the weave how gorgeous the clothing was in the Iron Age, how well the Iron Age people used all the natural resources and things that they have at their disposal. It's very much a collaborative project, not only between the Northants Guild of Spinners, Weavers and Dyers, but with people at Stanwick Lakes as well. So anybody that came into our barn while we were weaving this was basically hijacked and told, "You're going to weave a couple of lines, aren't you?" So there was a very large team of people who basically wove this section here.
We have learnt so much from this project. From the pragmatic end, we've learnt you use what you've got. For instance, in our case, the chaps next door made a boat out of 2-3 lime trees. We used the bark from that to make lime bast for cordage for baskets. And from that, we get a sense of the interconnectedness of various projects, what it was actually like in the Iron Age. They weren't just surviving, they were thriving, they were planning, they were business people.
It's been a real job to get this woven. This piece was completely hand spun on suspended spindles by a group of about 6 or 8 of us. And I made them start rather nastily with some really horrible fleece that we had that was full of VM and quite dirty and not very pleasant at all, because I thought, well, if we can spin fine with that, we can spin fine with anything. And so it proved. So there were complaints, but now the complaints are all about, I can't spin chunky yarn anymore. I can only spin super fine. So this is a problem that we'll have to overcome.
I think we've all said we feel more of a spiritual connection to our foremothers, a lot of respect for them, respect for the landscape, because you have to work with it and not against it. And I think, for me personally, I've learned a lot about self-reliance. I've learned a lot about, I can make this for myself. What am I going to need? I'm going to need some sticks, I'm going to need some water, I'm going to need a sheep. But given those things, the amount that can be made by oneself is fantastic. And then learning to communicate our excitement about sticks and fluff and bits of string to the public, I think we've learned a lot about communication.